both our lightsaber and our droids are now completely functional. So now I want to add the ability to actually pick the lightsaber up from the ground, from the map. So I'd like the game to start with us not having any weapon. We then have to find the lightsaber in the map somewhere and pick it up in order to actually fight back against the droids that are on the map. And this process is quite easy. So let's have a little look. I'm actually going to start off by getting rid of my droid because I don't want to take damage while I haven't got a weapon. I'm going to open up my Jedi blueprint, and I'm going to change this holding lightsaber to false. Now that's going to make this lightsaber completely useless. So if I play now, I can't ignite it, I can't click, I can't block, it doesn't do anything. The game doesn't think I'm holding this lightsaber. So I've got to make that apparent. So let's go into the viewport and let's click on our lightsaber. Let's scroll down to the rendering section and turn it off. So now when I'm in the game, I've no longer got anything. I've got no functionality. I'm just a person wandering around trying to find a weapon. So we got to add code for this. We've got to add the ability to pick up this lightsaber, to find this lightsaber in the map. So to start off, we've actually got to make a blueprint for a lightsaber which is on the ground. So let's minimize this. Let's go down to my blueprints. Right click, new blueprint class. In this case it's going to be an actor. Click on it and we're going to call it lightsaber pickup. There we go. Open it up. Now I'm going to add component. I'm going to add a static mesh called lightsaber. And then I'm going to go into the static mesh on the right and I'm going to find my lightsaber hilt. There it is. Now if you remember, this lightsaber hilt is very big. So let's spawn one of these to remind us how big this is. So you're not going to want to try and pick up this lightsaber, because it's going to be a little bit big for our character to hold. So let's make this a little bit more appropriate. I also want it to be sitting on this side. So let's roll it over 90 degrees. And I'd like to be able to see. There we have the button. So this, put it that way if you imagine it's leaning on the clip there, so that's holding it up. So that's how I want the lightsaber to look. So let's make it a good deal smaller. How's that? Okay, I think that's a little bit too small now, so let's make it bigger. Is that about right? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just to make sure we actually do see it. About that size. There you go. I think that looks about right. That looks about the size of a lightsaber. Okay. Next, I'm going to click on the root and I'm going to add a box collision. Here we go. So my character must be within this box in order to pick this lightsaber up. Let's put it in front of it, because I'm going to put this against a wall. Let's have a look how big that box is. That's quite generous. Okay, so our character needs to be in that box in order to pick it up. I think that's fine. That's good. I'm going to call this box trigger area. Here we go. So there's our trigger area right there. So I'd like us to go back then into our event graph. And we need to check when, we need to check if our character is within the collision area or the trigger area. Let's delete these. Let's right click our trigger area, add event, and add on component begin overlap. Now this is one of the first things that we would have done in our previous excuse me, our previous tutorial series, the beginner tutorial series. It's the same code as what we did to pick up a key, almost identical. So let's pull a strand from it and let's do a branch. Now pull a strand from other actor and type equals, and we want to plug get player character into this. And then attach the conditions there. So we're checking if the entity that is collided or overlapped, this trigger area is our character. And if it is, we'd like to enable input. And we'd like to enable input of us. So out of player controller, get player controller. There we go. And that will now enable input once we're inside that box. However, we'd also like to disable the input when we're not in that box. So I'm going to copy most of this, paste it underneath. Then I'll right click the trigger area, add event, and instead this time on component end overlap. Pull it up here and connect this the exact same way into the branch. Plug that into other actor and instead disable input. There we go. So we'll now be able to interact when we're in the box, and then when we leave the box we'll no longer be able to interact. Alright, let's type in interact. We've got input action event, interact. Perfect, that's our E key. So if we press this, we only want to do this once. We only want to be able to pick this lightsaber up once, because we're going to delete it as well. We're then going to cast to Jedi. And we want to do this as, so get player character, as the player character. We're then, if we pull from here, we're going to set holding lightsaber to yes, to true. And tick that, true. We've now got the lightsaber. We simply then destroy actor. So once we've done that, this actor shouldn't exist in the world because we want that to actually disappear. We've picked up that lightsaber. So let's give that a go. Compile. Walk up to our lightsaber and press E. It's gone. I'm still not holding a lightsaber. So what's happened? So we've added the ability to tell the game that we've got a lightsaber, but in our Jedi class we haven't actually told it what to do with that information. So let's pop over to our Jedi blueprint. Now at this point we've got a lot of information going on here, but it's all neatly laid out. We don't have to touch any of this. We're ready to now show our lightsaber. And there's a couple of ways you can do this, but I think the best way for us to do it in this case, if we just use a tick to detect when it is that we're holding that lightsaber. So let's go down here, let's type in event tick, pull a strand and let's say do once. In fact, actually, let's not do once actually. Let's pull a strand and let's do a branch. And we're going to say holding lightsaber, get holding lightsaber. Now if holding lightsaber is true, then do once. And we're going to say set visibility of, let's find it, the lightsaber hilt here, to true. And that should be done. So let's compile that. Let's have a look. Let's walk up to it, pick the lightsaber up. It's now in our hands. I should now be able to ignite it. There we go. And now I can block and hit. That's perfect. That's pretty much done. So let's make this look a little bit nicer. So let's move it from here. We don't want it here. Let's move it so it's in a place that's hard to get to, like here. So I'll need some form of table. Now I'm going to be very lazy here. I'm going to go into the start the content. I'm going to go into the props, I believe. And there we go, a shelf. For my actual game, I wouldn't use this shelf because it's a little bit off theme, let's say. But I'm going to put the shelf in the wall here. Pull it down a little bit. And I'm going to place my lightsaber on this podium here. So just make sure it looks nice. Now, like I said, if this was actually my game, I definitely wouldn't be using this shelf. I'd put something nice and special here, maybe something with a bit of smoke around it, a little pedestal, a rock, something glowing on it, make a big moment of you finding your lightsaber. But for the purpose of this works. So let's imagine our droid is in here. Now the idea is, you spawn, you've got to find your lightsaber. So let's go, let's find the lightsaber. Around this corner soon enough, there it is, there's our droid coming to get us. Now we can't do anything about this, so I've got to avoid that droid as well as I can, which is actually a little bit, there, it's hit me once. Now I'm going to go up here, run up. However, this is blocked, there's a door here, I can't open this door. Oh, that's still coming up. I'm going to jump down, and the only way to get up there is to use these podiums here. So let's go. I've run around, so this droid's probably lost me a second. Doesn't know where I am. I also don't know where it is. Let's jump up these podiums. Oh, fell on the last hurdle. Let's go. Try again. Here we go. So up we come. Find the lightsaber. Pick it up. I can now open the door, which now unlocks this shortcut. And here comes the droid. But I'm not worried this time because I can jump down and hit it with a lightsaber. That's not very complicated in terms of a gameplay loop. There's no scoring system, there's not really much going on. However, that is almost a game in itself. And that's pretty much the lightsaber side of things working. Now we're going to do the same thing in the next couple of videos with a blaster. It's the same process, almost the exact same code in fact, because we've, as part of the bonus video, made it so we can fire blasters back using this. But almost the exact same code, is very simple, so we'll quickly run through it in the next video. So before moving on, can you make sure that your game or your lightsaber starts off in a location, like so, that your character starts off without the lightsaber, and you can then pick up the lightsaber and it's working properly when you actually pick it up, so you're able to hit, you're able to deflect, you're able to block, so on. If any of that isn't working, can you make sure that you go back through the video, make sure that you follow all the instructions properly, and make sure that you didn't miss anything. Once that's all working, you're ready to move on to the next video.